This is chapter number 2, from trade to territory. We are taking different type of questions, important questions. It will be MCQs, fill in the blanks, true, false, match the following. All type of questions we are taking. Now these are the pictures in your chapter and otherwise also. So wherever it is required, we'll get back to these picture in order to illustrate and elaborate. The first one is, which of the following was not the presidency? So let me tell you, the English administration, the time we are talking about, the presidencies were three. The first was Bengal, the second was Bombay, which is today's Mumbai, and Madras, today's Chennai. So Kalikata was not there, it was not the presidency. Tipu Sultan stopped export through his kingdom in. So let me show you Tipu Sultan. His name will be repeated again and again. Here I am talking about the Coromandel coast. So under his control, under his kingdom, there were different ports, and through these ports, the export was taking place of spices, the cotton and silk. So 1785, this was the date, because 1782 he assumed rule, Tipu Sultan, because Hyder Ali died in 1782. After this, 1782, Tipu Sultan was the ruler of the famous kingdom of Mysore. The first English factory was set up in the year. So the first English factory, here all started. It started in Bengal, and this is Hooghly or Hubli. So basically it's called Hooghly, sometimes pronounced as Hubli. So Hooghly. So I'm talking about Hooghly, which actually drops down to Bay of Bengal. So Calcutta, Kalikata. So here we are talking about a river, famous river, Hooghly. And this is the river on whose bank this first English factory was set up in 1651. Who discovered the sea route to India in 1498. So if you see this picture, this is a British island. Now she is Queen Elizabeth. She, according to a charter, she gave all the rights, sole right, to East India Company to do the trade in the eastern part of, whichever comes in eastern part of British island. So there will be no other company which will give any competition to the EIC, East India Company. And this is only Britain I'm talking about. What about Portuguese, Dutch, Danish, the French? What about these people? They were still doing the trade, different part of the world, India also. So they would come from, British will come from Cape of Good Hope to Indian subcontinent. Before that, long back, already Portuguese have arrived, and this sea route which others have to follow or will follow was discovered by Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama, he was Portuguese in 1498. And this, let me tell you again, the sea route he discovered was the path breaking for others to follow. That is how different trade came to our subcontinent. Robert Clive committed suicide in which year? Let me show you Robert Clive first. So he is Robert Clive from 1725 to 1774. This is his life. So he was a very strong Governor General, Robert Clive. Now, when he went back, he was subjected to a case, and corruption case basically, because the time he went, he took along with him a lot of money, humongous money. So he committed suicide in 1772, though he was acquitted in 1772. Means he was acquitted of all the charges, he was free. So sterling, more than 4 lakh sterling he had when he went back home. This amount is still a huge amount still today, 2021. So he committed suicide in 1774. As I said, 1772 he was acquitted of all the charges. Now, coming to the third battle of Panipat was fought in the year. So, around 80 to 90 kilometer, it's from New Delhi. It's around, the Panipat is around 80 to 90 kilometer. Now, here the various battles were fought. The third battle was between Afghans, that is Ahmad Shah Durrani, and allies alongside against Marathas. Now Marathas just previous to that were becoming very strong. So they were defeating various different dynasties and the kingdoms. So from Pune they marched till Panipat. That is, most of the kingdoms, they were not happy with Marathas. So they allied with Ahmad Shah Abdali, and finally there was a war in 1761. Here Maratha, they got defeated, and their dream of ruling Delhi was shattered. And that is how Maratha, became very strong, they demeaned. Now Rani Channamma, let me show you the picture of Rani Channamma. I'll talk about Rayanna also. Now the Rani Channamma, she died in custody. After that, Rayanna came. The Rayanna, who followed Rani Channamma, he was just a watchman. Now Rayanna, as Rani Channamma was doing, Rayanna destroyed British camps as well as the documents. So it was against the Lord Dalhousie doctrine of lapse. The doctrine of lapse was that if you don't have a kid, that is, if you don't have a prince, we will capture your place. We will capture your dynasty, kingdom, or the rule. So now when this Lord Dalhousie came, or they came to Kittur, Rani Channamma belonged to Kittur. She was the ruler of Kittur. So the answer is Rani Channamma was the ruler of Kittur. It was a small dynasty in present day Karnataka. Hyder Ali was the ruler of. So as I said, Tipu Sultan, he was the son of Hyder Ali. So Hyder Ali was the father, and he had a dynasty, he is a kingdom called the Mysore kingdom. So they were powerful ruler, means they were just not normal rulers. They were actually very strong ruler, Mysore. So Hyder Ali was the ruler of Mysore. European trading companies were attracted to India due to. So there were various reasons, but the initial reasons was raw material like cotton, silk and spices. So if I show you this peninsula, they would come through sea route. So they were coming for cotton, kapas. They would come for silk, and these were having huge market in Europe, especially these spices also, like cardamom, like coriander, like black gold, that is the pepper, and dalchini. These all were in great demand. Okay. Now these raw materials, I'm not talking about just silk, cotton and spices. There are other things also. But the raw material, these were in high demand in the back home. So C is the answer. Competition among the companies resulted in. Now let me tell you, as I just indicated you, that not only British, prior to them, Portuguese came, after them Dutch came, followed by the Francisi, French people. Now everyone was coming with the same intent, to buy cotton, silk and spices. They have the same requirement. They were not coming for different things. Cotton, silk and spices, they all have same requirement. Now the problem is that the English were not having monopoly. For example, English would come and they will ask, okay, we'll give you 50 rupees for this stuff. The farmer or the trader will say, okay. But French will come. He will say, okay, we'll give you 70 rupees for this. Now English, just assume that 50 they are taking and 200 they are selling in euro. So 150 they are getting in profit. Now French came 70. Now Danish came, the Dutch came, and they would ask for, say, not 70, for the same stuff, we are going to give you, say, 100. Say Portuguese came and say 100. So now this 100, because English now have to take this in 100 only, because they are getting competition. So if somebody is taking for 100, English will also take 100. So they are getting profit of 150. Now they are only getting profit of 100, because 100 minus 200, 200 minus 100 is 100 only. Previously it was 200 minus 50. So reduced profit of companies, this result was this only. Now coming to match the following. Okay, Tipu Sultan directly matched it with Mysore. He was the ruler of Mysore. Rani Channamma, Kittur dynasty. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, of course, Punjab. And Tipu Sultan was killed in Battle of Seringapatam. It was the capital of Tipu Sultan, that is Mysore. And Sirajuddaulah lost. Now Sirajuddaulah lost the Battle of Plassey. After this, Mir Jafar and then Mir Qasim was made the Nawab. Dalhousie, doctrine of lapse, as I just told you, Vilayaniti. Vilayaniti. That is, if you don't have a prince or no higher, we will take your all place and we will govern it. So these are the correct matching. Let us come to true and false. The British originally came as traders. Yes, absolutely true. If you think British came to conquer India or conquer the subcontinent, make the colony, no. They only came to be a trader. But the political, economical and all those things, they changed so much, or they were subjected to that kind of situation. They actually became ruler from trader. Right? The Battle of Buxar ended in 1764. Now this is the Battle of Buxar, and this was between the English, that is the British, and Mir Qasim. So let me show you here. Okay, he is Mir Qasim. The right bottom, Mir Qasim. So there was a Battle of Buxar. Buxar is a place right now in Gujarat, Bihar. So after Plassey, Sirajuddaulah was killed. After Plassey, they made Mir Jafar as the Nawab, puppet Nawab, Kalputli Nawab. Because Mir Jafar was the commander of Sirajuddaulah who backstabbed. Now Mir Jafar was not listening to Britishers, so they put Mir Qasim as Nawab of Bengal. But Mir Qasim also protested against British. But the British wanted a Katputli, puppet. So now there was a war because they want to depose or they want to make some other Nawab. So that is how Buxar happened. So the Battle of Buxar ended in 1764, which is absolutely true. Second Anglo-Maratha War was fought in 1757. Now I have, in detail explained about the Maratha Wars when we were doing the theory. So I hope that you know all these. So you know that second was not in 1757. So it's false. Maratha kingdom were located mainly in the northern part of India. No. Northern part, no. So let me show you if I can give you the name. See, the Holkars, Sindhya, Gwalior. The Bhosle, Nagpur, Maharashtra. And we have others also like Pune, Gaikwad. And these Bhosle, Gaikwad, Holkars, they were not in the northern part. They were in the central India, you can say below, south of India, Vindhyachal. The army was known as the Sepoy army during company rule. This is true. Let me show you the Sepoy army. Here, this is the picture of Sepoy army. So what they would do, when Mughal were there, they were interested in the cavalry, that is the Ghudasawar, horseback soldier. And after that, after Mughals, Banaras and Awadh, these kingdoms, dynasties came up, and they started recruiting the peasants, farmer as the soldiers. And same thing, British also did. So British also recruited Indian peasants and farmers, and they started calling them as sepoy, because they were not able to say pronounce sipahi, so they called them as sepoy. And because it was an army, it was a foot soldier army, they were called as sepoy army. Now coming to fill in the blanks. Indian rulers' administrative units were divided into district dash and dash. So Parganas and Tehsil is the answer. Right now also we talk about Tehsil. If you go to Bengal, you will see Pargana. So same thing. District were divided into Parganas and Tehsil. The new system of justice was set up in the year. So what was the year? 1772. So there were different reforms being done, and this reforms was basically for justice in the justice system. For example, criminal code and the civil code, this came up. So criminal code is Faujdari and civil code is Diwani. And along with this, in each district they had a district collector office, collectorate. So this today is DM. And district collector along with Daroga, the judges and the police, they will take care of they will try to control the law and order situation. So they maintain the law and order. Along with this Regulation Act, Supreme Court came up. So these were all the new system of justice. The first English factory was set up on the banks of this we already talked about, river Hooghly. So it's a famous river, the Howrah Bridge on this. So first English factory on the banks of Hooghly. Queen Elizabeth granted the East India Company the sole right to trade with thee. Now, not India, not Indian subcontinent, no. As I said, with the charter Queen Elizabeth gave the sole right of eastern part of British to trade only by EIC, East India Company. So that is, they are having sole right to trade. And east part, so you'll answer east, not Indian subcontinent or any other thing. East, because it is coming in the east part, right? So British not only came to India, they went to different parts, Australia, America, and there were various places where British colonies were there. After the defeat at Plassey, Dash was made the Nawab. So Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. As I just told you, that after Battle of Plassey, previous to that, Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan and Sirajud-Daulah, they were very strong competitors. They were strong rulers. So they wanted, the British wanted some puppet as Nawab, so that the trade and other facilities they will get easily. So they had Plassey, they killed Sirajud-Daulah, and finally they made Mir Jafar as the Nawab, puppet Nawab of Bengal. And Mir Jafar also, after that Mir Qasim came, then Mir Qasim, Buxar happened. So Mir Jafar is the answer. Vibhishan. If you want to say that you are Vibhishan, you can call him Mir Jafar. Lord Dalhousie was what was the policy? Lord Dalhousie, it was doctrine of lapse, Vilay Niti. So it's policy of, if you don't have higher, if you don't have prince to rule, we will take king, no prince. So we'll take your land or your province. This is under doctrine of lapse. So this is all about this chapter. I think we have covered a lot. We have actually discussed whole chapter. Okay. So thank you so much. Take care of yourself.